Hey, this is Jazz, and I am down here in the lovely town of Savannah, down on River Street. River Street is where everything happens. It's where all the tourists go. It's where all the cool restaurants are. It's where all the cool food is. They got a bunch of candy shops. Right down by the river, check out the boats. That's pretty cool too. Anyways, on this episode, we have musical guest, Stereo Scandal. So let's check them out right now. I'm gonna use these historic steps at my own risk. Dun 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 dun. I think they might have been closed. It kind of looks like it, but I think I made it. And why am I going up here? Because they have another bridge that has a bunch of locks on it that I can show to you. Look at that squirrel. Hey, squirrel. What's happening, buddy? You think if you don't move, I can't see you, but I can see you. Hi. And there he goes. Squirrel. So this is Lovelock Bridge in Savannah, Georgia. I will give you one guess as to why they call it Lovelock Bridge. Have you guessed yet? Yes. It's because of the Lovelocks. I've seen a lot of these bridges before. In fact, I think I've had a couple on the show. I think I had, where was it, Salzburg, I think, had a bridge with a bunch of locks. But there must be a place that sells these because these all kind of look the same. Like there's like a place selling them. Huh. Foxhole, rabbit, and chipmunk. But you want to see the coolest lock? This is the coolest lock here. And if I could steal this, I would. Look at this. Check it out. Look at that. I mean, where do you even get a lock like that? That's badass. Damn. Well, there is another lock that's really cool. Check out this lock. All right, that's my second favorite lock. I mean, come on. But then you get some of these real big ones. Like, that's pretty cool. We're gonna head back down to River Street and go get some daiquiris.
I'm sure they come and take them all off, but
I love these trees. Check out these trees. Freaking cool. Love it. So I love the fact that as I was on the Lovelock Bridge, there was a lady and her husband or boyfriend, and they were like on the middle of the bridge. It wasn't like they just walked up to it. It was such a Homer Simpson moment. They're in the middle of the bridge, and she says, "Oh, look, honey, look at all the lockets." Like, okay, just now figured that one out, huh? Oh well, I found it funny. Maybe you just had to be there. So this right here is River Street. This is where you want to be on a Friday night down in Savannah. I am in Savannah at Wet Willie's, which is literally an institution. It even says so on the sign. This is where you go when you want to get some killer drinks and walk around town. Nothing but daiquiris. Well, they got other stuff, but a lot of daiquiris. My friends and I have gotten messed up here many, many a times, and I ended up with some Halloween decorations one year. I convinced them to sell me. That's how drunk I was. But let's head in to Wet Willie's, right? Yes. By the way, they don't endorse me or pay me to talk about them. That's just a place I love. You cannot come down to River Street in Savannah without going into Wet Willie's. So, to Wet Willie's. They'll probably make me turn the camera off. All right, I got my daiquiri here at Wet Willie's. Truth be told, this is my second daiquiri. But yeah, so I was thinking about all the things to do here in Savannah, and I don't have much time in Savannah. I've only been here for a couple nights, and well, I didn't do much the first 2 nights, so I'm trying to shoot this whole episode in one night. We'll see if it's successful or not. But anyways, Wet Willie's. You got to come here, get daiquiris. Cool thing about it is you can walk down the street drinking a daiquiri. Nobody says a word because you're allowed to do that here. So when you're in Savannah, this is one place you got to go. Then you got to go to some of the candy shops because they have pralines. That's what they're known for. So I'm going to try to hit that next. But a couple other things you can do. It's a bunch of really cool rooftop bars that I'm not going to go to. We'll just pretend I went there. And that's something cool to do. There's ghost, what do you call it? Ghost tours, if you believe in that nonsense. And there's a bunch of stuff to do. But we'll take a little walk now that it's dark. And yeah, I'm about to head out with the drink. I'm to the candy store next. Cheers. All right, we are leaving Wet Willie's and heading out to other places. Daiquiri number 3, I think. But yeah, I got a really cool Halloween decoration from Wet Willie's one time. They had this really cool black cat. I fell in love with it. And I said to the bartender, I said, let me buy this from you. And she goes, it's not for sale. I said, come on, everything's for sale. She's like, no, it ain't for sale. I'm like, come on, get a manager. So she got a manager. He came up. I said, I want to buy this cat from you. It's Halloween decoration. He said, yeah, it's not for sale. I'm like, come on, dude, everything's for sale. Name your price. So he said, for real? I said, yeah. He says, well, you tip the bartender 40 bucks and write a nice review about us in Yelp, I'll let you buy this cat. So I have a really cool Halloween decoration. It's a cat. The bartender got $40 from me that night, and Wet Willie's got a good review from me. So yeah, everybody has their price. I will show you a photo of the cat, or when I'm back home, I'll show you that right now. So here we go. All right, let's move on Riverwalk, on River Street.
don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words. Don't talk, don't speak, don't scream, don't shout, don't whisper those words.
when you're in Savannah, you gotta get some pralines. That's what they're known for. And this place right here, River Street Sweets, they make some really good pralines. Let's check it out.
Oh yeah.
So one time I was here, they were making pralines and I had to get some pralines. And when you order pralines, they weigh them on a scale. And I thought I was being funny. The girl went to weigh them and I put my finger under the scale so it would come up light. She puts them on, she looks at it, shakes her head, puts some more on, and I'm making it really obvious that I got my finger under the scale. And she can't figure out what's going on. And I got about 3 or 4 of my friends around me and we're all laughing because I'm waiting for her to bust me at any time, but she never does. So she goes to zero it out. I move my hand and she goes to do it again. I put my hand there. So anyways, she does it again. I put my finger there. This keeps going back and forth, back and forth. Well, finally she just gave up. I got about 7 pounds of pralines for the price of a pound of pralines. I kind of felt bad for her. And then, as I went to leave, I go out this door and the cops show up, turn their lights on for something else. It wasn't for this, but I was scared out of my mind. Okay, so check it out. These are what the pralines are. Look at that. That's what pralines look like if you haven't had them. They are delicious. Delicious. This is Jazz, and you're watching Jazz's Rockin Roadshow. I am still wandering around River Street here in Savannah, Georgia. I had some daiquiris from What Willie's. They got an open carry law. It's great. You can go wherever you want with drinks. It's a great time. I got nothing new to show you, so just wander with me in the streets of Savannah. Or, I don't know, maybe we'll play a video or something. Who knows at this point? I don't know. You want to see a video? Or maybe more of an interview with Jonna. Or Stereo Scandal will play a song. One of those things is going to happen right now. recorded an interview with my friend Jonna about what First Angel Media does, and we're going to play that now. First Angel Media is a, well, it's kind of like a webzine fashion model agency thing that's just really cool. So in any event, this is an interview I did with my friend Jonna. Check it out. All right, I am here with Jonna Lee Machika
Machika.
from First Angel Media,
Yes.
First Angel
Modeling. And First Angel magazine in there somewhere.
All right, and just an all-around great person.
Thank you.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
Yeah.
doing good.
So I met you several years ago, but I know you from First Angel Media.
Yes.
Because you had, or have, but you also had a website and you write about bands, and you know like every band there is under the sun. You do photographs, you write for magazines. I should let you tell everybody what I'm telling you what she does.
Okay. I like that. I like that. You're doing this. Like I'm perfectly okay
Right.
here because I forget sometimes what all I do. Like I know that sounds dumb, but whenever it's your life.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's routine for you.
Exactly.
But I look at what you do as like, man, that's so cool, because not only do you do like she does local bands, but you also do national acts and stuff.
Yes.
Like you've done Dropkick Murphys, you've done, oh my god, every band.
Molly, Dropkick Murphy. Lord, the guy, Pop Evil.
Yeah.
Pop Evil bands. Yeah, I've done a lot.
You've done photographs for my bands.
Yes.
And you've written articles when appropriate, when we had releases and stuff like that. And so I guess, so I'm doing a show about different Pittsburgh bands and stuff. And I'm going to say this maybe for you, but tell me if you agree. Sometimes these bands just need to reach out to somebody that has an outlet, like First Angel Media. You're looking for content all the time. You're looking for shows to take photos of.
I am looking for shows to promote.
Yeah.
I'm looking for shows to put links on. I'm looking for, anything. There is a neat little way on Facebook that I can put their show without changing anything onto the First Angel Media events list so that people can go find them. It's sometimes, that's the easier route of helping, because honestly, sometimes the writers are busy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're busy because most of my writers are also people in the scene, are also people with, we all wear like how many hats.
Right.
And so we're all extremely busy, and sometimes we can't get a full article out for you, but we can push the show.
Sure.
We can push the album. We can let people know it's out there. It doesn't have to be a full thing. We can still get it out to the audience.
What would you recommend? Like, okay, say I got a brand new band and we're playing, maybe we played a couple of small shows or something, but we're starting to maybe get a little traction. What's the best way to approach you to get some, what are you looking for? Like, do you need to have an angle, a story? Like, oh my goodness, obviously.
It all kind of depends. Like, if someone needs photography, I don't need anything behind that.
Sure.
But what I do try to do is and this is just something that I think bands can start to kind of like storyboard themselves, is whenever you're thinking, I want to get photos done, who are you thinking of? Like, someone's in your mind.
Sure.
Someone's in your mind. Some band is in your mind, or some GQ cover model, somebody.
Some horror movie or something.
Yeah. You're like,
right.
I want that. And then you collect these, because whenever you send them over to your photographer, your videographer probably even, and say, hey, this is what I like about this shot. This is what I like here. You may not know the technical term, but we're going to look at that and go, oh, You really like the oversaturated clarity there.
Right.
Okay, you know.
No, absolutely.
So-
Yeah, and a lot of bands don't think about the importance of a good promo picture. You know what I mean? Like, if you look like a hack, I'm going to think you're a hack. You could be the greatest band in the
Yeah.
world, but if you look professional, maybe you're not that good, but now I think you're works both
Right.
ways. So speaking of that, so I mentioned about, like, sometimes bands just need to get reach out to you. But, what's the best way to do something like that? And I don't mean just, I'm using you as, your experience, but there's got to be other websites and magazines that are similar that are saying, yeah, we don't want a phone call in the middle of the night. Hey, I'm drunk, but my band's better than yours, so put
Yeah.
us on. What's proper channels, if you will?
There are normally two ways of reaching out. We have the same. You can either reach out in messages if it's something you need, like, real quick. Like, hey, I just found out, that we're playing this show. We really need some backing. Message us.
Yeah.
Message us. Facebook messages are there. I am going to say that if you reach out to us and it's after a certain time, I do have children.
Right.
I do have a life.
Or you might be out on a show shooting
Or I
video
might be out
or
on a show shooting,
photos.
and it's going to be like, hey, hi, thanks for reaching out, but we're not home right now.
Yeah.
And then it will send you over to the kind of Q&A at the website to give you an idea of what we can help you out with or who to contact. Always, if you're sending in for any media, try to have, like, an attached photo for us to use if you plan on it having an article. Put in your social media links, and please, whenever I say social media links, I mean anywhere that we're going to be able to find your music to.
Yeah.
Make certain, a lot of people forget that. Like, Bandcamp is where you make your money. Send us your Bandcamp link. Make certain that you have your links in there. They're all working. Have your Facebook page, because we're going to need to tag you. Have your Instagram. We're going to need to tag you there. We'll do everything that we can, but provide us the information.
And if you have a website, include that and have it as streamlined as you can.
Absolutely.
Almost like an electronic press kit, so you don't have to search the website.
We do those.
They do those. See? First Angel Media. That's why you're on the show tonight.
We try to be a one-stop shop for everything.
So you help bands almost like a promotional company, but you're kind of not a promotional, but you give them the tool, like the photos and,
Right.
and the press kits and everything else.
Right.
But then you also have the magazine website that is, I said magazine.
Yes.
Website, but I know you've been working on
We
some
have
magazine stuff.
Yeah, the website itself, a lot of people consider it a web mag. Because there's new articles going out, because there's the photography section, because there's this, that, the other thing.
Do you find yourself, like, with local bands, Pittsburgh bands, do they, when they have a new release, do they reach out to you with promos? Like, what's, out of 10 bands, is there 2 bands doing that, or is it?
To be quite honest, I have to normally go find this stuff. And I will hear, oh, well, I didn't know you did that. Oh, well, I didn't. And it's like, look, I'm not trying to be a jerk. But if you notice that somebody is doing something, check out their website. See what else they might be doing.
If you're in a band, you need to promote yourself. And almost like some of these bands think their music's good enough that it doesn't need promotion. And let me tell you something. You ain't Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, if they put out a new song, somebody's going to be pushing it from behind the scenes.
Yes.
It doesn't just organically happen anymore, usually. And, so you got to, let's face it, there's so much media nowadays. Anybody that's willing to give you a hand or help you make a promo kit or photos or put you out there in on a website or something like that, take advantage of it.
I'm happy to help, but you have to reach out. And
this business is all networking.
It is.
If you ain't networking, you're not working. See what I did there?
Yes. And let's be honest. If you put out your stuff on every platform that there is. And you're promoting to only your people. Only your fans are on your platform. Only your fans are on your Spotify. Only your fans are on any of your platforms, your Bandcamp, everything else. You're promoting to the same people. We exist to promote you to the, well, I now have almost 12,000 likes, follows on Facebook. That's my organic reach. That's not even if I put an ad in it.
Right.
So, you know, it's really just, don't think, oh, well, they're Pittsburgh. You need Pittsburgh. Those
Right.
are the people who are coming to your shows, right?
Yeah. Reach out to them.
Reach out.
Half the time, that's all it takes. Bands, don't be lazy.
Yeah, it
Don't be
really,
lazy.
and don't think just because somebody is a small audience or a Pittsburgh name. I know some people who have small audiences that they're not.
You know, in one way, there's only so many resources within Pittsburgh, so take advantage of them all. And that's part of the reason.
Absolutely.
That's part of the reason I wanted to have you on the show,
I'm
because
happy.
you know I'm trying to have, in addition to the bands, I'm trying to every once in a while, if I can get some people behind the scenes, you know, they're just as important as the people playing the music and being out there, because without you all behind the scenes supporting it, it falls apart. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
thank you for being on the show
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me on
Let's
this show.
go have some beers.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks for being on the show.
Bye.
See ya.
See everyone.
White out, white beach, 5 hours to the beach. I got my sister passenger, she's just as crazy as me. Candle lit, camel crush, red nails you can't touch. Fresh paint keeps us hot, is this South Carolina? Staying at the Motel Louvre, but we will make the most of it. Happy hour, dry town, heart keep beating down. Mom and dad try babysitting, drank too much again. Rock show, local bar, hadn't gotten very far. IPAs and buckets of mojitos, I'm a star. Staying at the Motel Louvre, but we will make the most of it. Never staying outside door again. Change our plans at the last minute. Go to the Louvre. Go to the we will make the most of it.
Okay, I guess I found the Gretsch Museum. I'm still gonna have to look this up because I didn't know this was here. see if the doors are open. Oh, they're locked. Oh, no, they're not. I don't know what this is. Got a Gretsch drum set, 2 of them. Man, look at all the guitars up above. I want all of those. Or most of them, at least. I love Gretsch guitars. I have a bunch of them. And I want all these. I want that green one right there. Oh, damn, that's cool. Damn. What is this place? District Live Radio. I apologize. I don't know what this is. So do me a favor and everybody look up District Live Radio Savannah when this airs, because I don't know anything about it. It just kind of hit me out of the blue. Well, thank you. All right. I'm gonna stumble back to the hotel now. You get a feel for Savannah, right? Hopefully I showed you enough. But if not, just come down here and check it out, man. Look at it. Beautiful. Right? Cheers. All right, it is time to head back to Pittsburgh. It's 4 in the morning. I have a flight to catch. Gonna meet up with the band back at the studio, do some songs, and do an interview, all that good stuff. So yeah, on my way to the airport. And then to Pittsburgh.
We call this next one Situationship. Hit it! I answer. Come over. I answer. I answer. Come over. I answer.
Oh yeah.
answer. Come over. I answer.
All right, I am back in Pittsburgh with my dear friend Stereo Scandal. Thank you for all coming to my place and jamming for us today and being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So tell me, I don't know about anything about the band, how you got the name, who came up with the name, who formed the band. Tell me all about it.
So the band technically was formed by Dave. Dave put an ad in a paper, was it Craigslist? Craigslist. Dave put a Craigslist ad out looking for people who were into Swerve Driver and Jawbox and My Bloody Valentine, those sorts of bands, which is kind of my sweet spot. So Dave and I started the band thinking we were going to do that. Eventually, we put an ad on Craigslist for a singer and got Cassie, but that type of band normally has the vocals sort of subdued in the mix, and it's not really singer forward. That's more like an extra instrument. But when you get a singer that's that good, it kind of changes the direction of the band. And then we were looking for a drummer. Dan is my brother-in-law. I knew he played drums. I didn't know he played drums as well as he does, which was great.
Thank you. I think.
And then and then we wanted an extra guitar player. We knew that. We tried a couple people and couldn't quite find the right fit. And Dave knew of Tammy. She was leaving her prior project, and he reached out to her on Facebook, and
The rest is history. Excellent.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with the name?
We came up with the most psychotic system. So I asked everybody to grab any album that they have, take any words that they like off of that album. So if you got a favorite album, if there's a word like, if you like The Cure, go through Disintegration and pull every word off of every title that's not a the and
Right.
put them down on a piece of paper. And when we got to 300 words, we had them all on a piece of paper. I sent them out to everybody and said, just start matching words. So if there's 2 S words in this list that's alphabetized and you like them, put them together. We'll come to practice. And we're just going to do a round robin. Do you like this name better than this one? Yes. So we just kept taking them apart. And we had like 50 of them.
It took, I
And
think,
4 years later,
probably like two months and like 500 names, but we came up with Stereo Scandal like at the very last second.
So it's somewhere one of us has an album with the word scandal in it, and one of us has an album with the word stereo in it. And those 2 words just came together.
It's kind of a cool name because it makes you just think of like whatever you think it is, it is.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it fits our vibe.
Yeah.
We're
Well, I like
a little
your vibe.
scandalous.
I was so in between the songs, I was mentioning to them as a compliment. You remind me, some of your stuff reminds me of like early Cure, and that and then when you mentioned your influences, okay, now I can see it all makes sense. So, where all were you playing within the city, or outside of the city, or in general?
so we've done a few shows. We've done Club Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the Smiling Moose. We've done Cativo.
Mr. Small.
Yeah, Mr. Smalls. I mean,
Beacon.
the usual spots. I mean, the good news is that we, Tammy, knows everybody in the whole of Pittsburgh, it seems, and grateful. We're super grateful because she's able to reach out to that network, and we're able to get some shows. And from that perspective, we've seemed to have been well received. And we've got this sort of philosophy when we're playing with other bands that we share equipment that will help them out. We just want that night to be a fun, engaged, good time, and we seem to be getting a lot of other bands coming to see us, and we're supporting them. So,
Right.
We're certainly, I would say, a local band that has a good time.
And you're trying to do the showcase shows because you're primarily originals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's on the horizon next for y'all?
Well, our first album dropped in September, and so that's out there, and it seems to be getting a lot of good feedback. There's a lot of different songs on there, different styles. A lot of people ask, when there's a show coming up, what's your genre? And I think Cassie described it best as undefinable rock. I think it's very difficult to put this in a genre because when you think about Circles compared to Scream, compared to Inside My Dreams, it's very difficult to put it in there. So that's the vibe that we're sort of going with. Right now, we're sort of working on the second either album or EP. We've got probably 6 or 7 songs that are in the mix that we are working on right now, which is always the the fun part.
Right. You
The fun part.
where did you record at, or where do you record at?
Razor Blade Recordings with John Stoker. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice. Listen. Go out and download, or better yet, do you have physical copies?
Yes.
We do.
Okay, go to a show and physically purchase a CD. And I know you may not have a CD player, but do that anyway, and then go download it.
Yes.
Right? It's cost you $10, right? What's a CD
Yeah.
cost?
$10.
Yeah.
That means so much more to a band than like 1,000 downloads. It's sad, you know. So, what's your like hit song, if you will? You know,
So,
That's who you ask.
well, actually, the one that we always hear is "Inside My Dreams." So
okay.
in fact, anytime we post anything about it, we're good friends with a local band with Garage League, who are awesome. Definitely check them out. Anytime we post anything, one of them will say, your hit radio single is "Inside My Dreams," which is kind of cool. So,
What was the band? Garage what?
Garage League.
Hey, Garage League, get on my show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to have them.
Cool.
Those guys are so
I'd love
awesome.
to.
I think the cool thing is that when we ask that question, we do get different answers.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best compliment that we can get as it pertains to the album, because there's not just one song that consistently gets brought up.
Yeah.
It is different songs. So I feel like, when we set out to write these songs, we wanted to appeal to non-musicians and musicians, but to get that response that it's different for every time is the sort of the best compliment we can get.
Yeah, I think your songs, they all fit what you like. I knew it was you. You know what I mean? Like if I heard all the songs together, it definitely is cohesive. But you'd play whatever the first song was, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm jamming it." And then you'd start the second song, like, "I like the first song." Oh wait, no, this song's pretty good too. And then before I knew it, I was singing along with that one, and then the next one. But Circles is my jam. Now I also like Situationship. So tell me about that. How that you're merging words here.
Situationship is a word that I learned from TikTok that's
Okay.
trending, which basically means like you act like you're dating, but you're not dating, and it's just like a confusing, not quite relationship kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But the interesting thing about that song, and this is how all of our songs start, it's normally either a bass line or a guitar riff or a drum beat or something that just sparks from nothing, and all of a sudden Chad, the director, goes, "You do that, hold on, you do this, you do that, you change this." And that's like most of our songs come together. But ironically, with that song, I was just playing the beat, but I was doing it in my head to "You Can't Hurry Love" by Phil Collins. And I was just like, and he's like, "That sounds like..."
Sing, sing, sing. I had been wanting to
And
write
so it sort
song
of
that
came
like
from
that.
just
Yeah.
messing around, and then that's how most of the songs start. It's a riff or something that just kind of creates. There's no real, I would say, leader in the group that is driving it. We're all equal.
Excellent. Stereo Scandal, thank you so much for coming and being a part of the show. You are welcome at my place anytime because I love your music and you're all really, really cool. Check them out.
Well, okay, so I forgot to do this during the interview, but I was telling y'all when I was in Savannah. That's your episode, obviously. And I was at this place, Wet Willie's, and I told the story about getting a cat at Wet Willie's, and this is the cat. So the cat still lives in the studio. So, and the story of the cat, I already told it on the show. But this is my $40 cat that I bought because everything has a price. So $40 will get you this.
It almost seems like it's taxidermy.
Yeah.
If this was a real cat, I would really freak out.